Hi, I'm Victoria Culf. I'm an artist and I do a lot of weaving with recycled materials. All of a sudden, alakazam, there's some threads on the table. I'm going to make a warp. Now, a warp in weaving is the threads that go up and down, okay? And we use the warp threads with the weft threads, which are the threads that go horizontally in and out, to knit them together, and it basically creates a pattern. And the tighter we do it, the tenser the fabric and the better it will hold. Now I'm going to start my warp off with a special knot, and I think it's called a slip knot, where you make a U like that, you take the end, you go round your finger and you make a rabbit loop like this, okay? And that stops it coming undone. And I'm going to start by tacking it into my file folder. And I want to make a square because today we're making a little coaster, which I think my daughter has already eyed up as a lol surprise mat. Okay, so there's two ways to warp this up. First, you can go up and down directly, okay, 1 centimetre apart. You can make something with this, it will work, but I'm going to upgrade you. But I'm going to go back into my first hole, okay, see here, back into my first hole, then around. Then I'm going to go down and meet that hole. It's like I'm making isosceles triangles. So I get double the warp and I get a thinner warp. Now, we want to have an even number of warp threads because it makes it easier when we're tying it up at the end. So I'm on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Let's go for a 20. I'm going to chop it. I'm going to go round here and I'm going to come back on myself at the back. Tape is your friend. I'm using some masking tape. It's trade masking tape, so you can get them in different colours. I just like going by it. And I've stuck it down, which means it's going to be really easy to pin it off, take it off and take it off loom later. Also, if you're worried about your threads coming out, you can also tape the end of your loom, okay? Because it's masking tape, it's lower tack than a sellotape, so it's much easier to get on and off. Right, so now I'm going to show you the other tools you might need that will help a little bit with your weaving. Okay, now if you were to buy a commercial loom, it would come with something called a shed stick, which is essentially a piece of wood. And if you're home weaving with recycled materials, why don't you just use a ruler? Because really spot the difference. I got this old ruler off of a friend, and I'm going to show you how to put it into the weaving warp. So first, I'm going to use my ruler to create some selvage, which is the kind of the edges of the weaving, which is this stuff. Okay, I want a gap either side of my weaving. We're just going over, under, and it separates out the threads, you see? And it also gives us some space between our threads, so I can probably just weave a straight line through there. So then I'm going to introduce you to, I've just picked a selection. I'm going for sort of light colours, but the colours you pick will create different patterns. Let's start off with this, it's kind of fun. So I'm just going to cheat and use the row that I've already created with that, okay? And I'm going to stick a little bit out. And then, this is the fiddly bit. I'm going to go back the other way because I want to tuck my first line into the weaving. Okay, so normally you'd build it up like this, but I'm going to start by building it up like that. So I've gone under, over and under, over, and now I'm doing opposite threads. So here I've gone under this thread, but I'm going to go over it now, and I'm going to go under the next one. Okay, so I'm alternating, and then I'm going to go over this one, and under there. Can you see? So you've got like one thread showing out, but then it's covered, one thread showing out and then it's covered, and it's alternating on the next row. Then this is a new tool I'm going to show you. So this is a weaving comb. Now you can get these online, or they'll come with a weaving kit. And if you buy them individually, they can be anything between £5 and sort of £15, depending on the manufacturer. But as this is all about recycling and sustainability, if you have a pet, you can use an old pet comb. I'd wash it first, but you can get 2 pet combs for probably about £4 or £5 from Amazon or eBay. Or you can use this, which was from my husband's shaver. Perfect little comb because it does for what we're doing, okay? So I'm going to show you with each. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to beat my weaving down. Right, okay. So you've tucked this bit in and you've beat it down with your comb. And can you see your comb goes in between the warp threads? Okay, then I'm going to do the same on the other side. And I'm going opposite. I'm going to push this up a bit more. That's it. Okay, and then I just keep going until it runs out. And you can leave a little bit out because we can chop that off at the end. Now, when we're weaving, we don't want to pull it in so that we make a waistline. We want a nice straight edge. So we're going to, as we go along, make sure that we're weaving and we're creating, might even give it a little pull. Yeah, that's it. A flat and even space. Now, our last thread we wove to here. We're going to go over the next one so that it overlaps, okay? In fact, I might just use this one. All right? So I'm going to use the same strings that I used before, so that it hides my overlap. Can you see? It's like I'm going over it. Okay, and then I'm going to push that round the back. Don't worry, because when it's squished, all will look great. Okay, and I'm going to continue weaving. Now, what we want to create in weaving is I'm going to show you here. It's the overlap, okay, that keeps it strength. In knitting, you make knots. In macrame, you make knots. In weaving, you overlap. We're going to take it off loom. I'm going to take off my tape. And it's nice and easy to take off. So this is the one bit of waste, I would say. And we're going to take it off. So with this side, we can pop it off. Right, now because we've done it in twos, our loops are already in twos. So I'm going to go round my finger, back on myself and through the hole with my loops, and I'm going to drag it, if you can see, push it down to the base of the weaving, so it makes something like that. And I'll sort this bit out later, and I'm going to go along and do that all the way all right? And I'm going to do the same with this side, but because I've got 2 loose ends, I'm going to chop it a bit. So if I just pull it all off, it should just come off like that. Okay. When we do it to here, I'm going to chop the ends, okay? So it's a little bit different because I've got 2 loose ends. And now I'm going to do the same thing that I did here, and I'm going to get 2 threads together at a time, and I'm going to do the same slip knot. Okay, so we've got something like this, all right? Now we want to fold it in half. We're going to comb it out, and we're going to cut our threads so they're even, okay? You can measure it, but I eyeball it, so, okay. And we know that's about the same. Now, I'm going to introduce you to another friend, a comb. And knit combs are really good for this as well. I don't know if you've got kids, but or a really sort of fine tooth comb. And you're basically going to ruin the fringe, okay? Because if you look closely, the fringe is made out of twisted fibres. And whenever you see wool, you might see something called a 1-ply or a 2-ply or a 3-ply. And what that means is how many different threads are put together. So this is a 3-ply, and I'm going to twist it around. So that's basically the principle, okay? So if something runs out, so say I don't have a file folder, I could use a picture frame and I could put nails in it, okay? Or I could use an in tray, and this is a weaving done by my daughter. And we basically just used a needle and thread to weave into the in tray at intervals. And I suppose it's seeing potential in everything you've got. So there we have it. Now, you can change the look of your mats because you can have short ones, long ones. I will say it doesn't look so good with a little bobble, so you can see the difference here. That doesn't work. I would definitely put 1.5 centimetres to 2 centimetres minimum fringe because it just looks better. And you have your nice tea coaster. Cheers.